Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jackie, and today we will be starting on book 3 of the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. This is Vicious Fae by Carolyn Peckham and Susan Valenti. Now, we completed Savage Fae earlier today. This book was fantastic. We also completed book 1, which was Dark Fae. This is book 3, so we are, just moving right along. The story so far is where we've got our main character, our FMC. She's, dealing with some grief. She's dealing with some stuff. She is a vampire. Her name is Elise. She is a vampire air magic fae. And she is at school in, the Aurora Academy is the school that she's a college. So she's, obviously older. And she is having just the time of her life right now. In case you can't tell the sarcasm. She is hunting for her brother's killer, and she is slowly starting these relationships with the 4, this is a reverse harem, these 4 main MMCs. So we have Leon, Dante, Gabriel, and we have Ryder. And I don't know why I'm always forgetting Ryder. I don't know, there's something about him. He's forgetful. So anyways, she is in this love square. Is it a square? I mean, there's it'd be a pentagon, I guess. Pentagram. No, pentagon. So no, it'd be a pentagram because it's her, and yeah. Anyways, her star technically, but she's got this thing going on with these 4 guys, and they're all various types of fae, and she's trying to find her brother's killer. Now, we do also have a gang war happening between the Lunar Brotherhood and the Obscura clan. If you have read the Zodiac series, you will have already, the Zodiac Academy series, you will have already learned about them through that as well. But we have the one main MMC is the leader of the Lunar Brotherhood. The other main MMC is the leader of the Obscura clan, and of course she's kind of pitting them against each other. It's chaos. Awesome chaos, of course, but chaos. So anyways, I'm very much looking forward to seeing where we're going from here. Hopefully you guys will stick with me and we'll find out what happens real soon. I'm going to attempt to, I don't know, we've got this one that feels a little bit longer. It is a little bit longer. So this one is a total of 635 pages. Previous one, 543 pages, and the first one was 503. So we are progressively getting larger at this point. I would say I'm going to probably check back in right around the 200 page mark. Might even stop at the 150 page mark. It just kind of depends on where that break is. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we're up for a good time. Or, I mean, I'm going to say, if nothing else, it'd be emotional damage. But honestly, while reading these, emotional damage is what you're expecting. And it usually is a good time then. So, all right. We'll check back in soon. Hey friends, we are going to do just a quick update. I've hit the 150 page mark. I don't want to give you guys any spoilers, but I've hit the 150 page mark. And well, first off, we don't dislike, well, we kind of still dislike Gabriel because he is still an asshat, but we dislike him less now. We don't like Ryder very much, but again, we dislike him less than we did. Basically, it's all of them. We dislike them less, except Leon. Leon redeemed himself a lot in the last book, and I don't really have a whole lot of bad things to say about him right now, aside from the fact that he's like bound and determined that she's gonna be his girlfriend, and she's like, yeah, no, I'm not, that's not happening. But other than that, it's moving. I was kind of surprised about a few things, so I'm gonna have to see how those kind of pan out. But overall, still liking the book. If I had to rate it right now, I'd say probably right around a 4, somewhere between a 4 and a 4.5. It's starting to get a little bit spicy, but but it's spicier than the last two for sure. But again, not significantly spicy. Not in terms of for my reading experiences. But I am going to get back to it. I will try to get a hold of myself and rein myself in right around the 300 or 320 page mark. So that way we can do a little quick update. So I'm going to go back to that now, but if you're following along, you know what's happening. And I can't tell you, but I can tell you that the last like 10 pages or so, like I want to read this book. So, anyways, I'm going to get back to it now. Bye. Hello, everybody. I am officially 326 pages into Vicious Fae now, and it's starting to move right along. The boys they're starting to get some good banter between them, and Elise is starting to progress in her story. So we're starting to get somewhere. The plot's not real in depth yet, but it is starting to move. So she's starting to figure some stuff out, and the boys are starting to really come into their own personality wise. So it's starting to do stuff. I will say the last chapter was spicing pretty nicely, so that was good. But I do have this strange feeling that we will be probably another 200 pages, maybe even more than that. I don't know. We're sitting at, yeah, I'd say probably between 2 and 250 on pages before we start to see any real to it. I don't know how else to say it. Like it doesn't. The last like 15-ish to 20-ish% of the book is usually where we get that real emotional, and we're starting to see some good emotion in here. So I actually kept telling myself, I was like, I have to go to bed, and the plan was to stop right around the 300 page mark, and at 300 I was like, yeah, I'm not stopping right now. So I ended up reading another 26 pages. So anyways, it's moving along. So I'm going to get back to this, and I will give you guys another update here shortly. Hey guys, I have a quick update. I just hit page 550, so I read approximately 220 pages. It's very much getting interesting, and I'm looking forward to finishing. There's quite a few things that I'd like to tell you, but since we're not doing spoilers, I'm gonna keep them to myself. But it's getting good. So anyways, I will keep going, and I will let you know how the end of the story pans out. Hello, friends. So I am not going to lie. I'm in the middle of throwing a temper tantrum over this book. Vicious Fae, obviously, this is what we're working on. And yeah.
read this book. Just read it. I am so invested in finding out like what happens next. They did they did Gabriel dirty in this, and I'm not happy about it. I understand, you gotta have, but it's a, so finished with it. Total, I gave it a 4.5 on Fable. I gave it a 4 stars on Goodreads because Goodreads doesn't allow for half or quarters or whatever. There was a decent amount of spice at the end. Some big things happen, and you start seeing more of what's going on with Gareth and what happened with the kings in terms of all the different bad juju situations. I am hoping that in the next book, in Broken Fae, that we immediately figure out how. I'm so mad. Like, why? I get that there needs to be that plot, so, the twist in there, but meh. And we don't know how that's going to work with the dynamic in the next book, and it's just. So this book is currently grounded. As you guys know, in my, well, you might not know, but in my shorts, I definitely comment on the fact that sometimes books need a good grounding. This one needs to be grounded. Because it needs to behave. It's not behaving itself. So we're gonna start the next book and see how this goes. If you've been following along so far, it's been a little bit slow. First book was very slow, had almost no spice. We were looking at a 1.5-ish, maybe a 2, depending on your spice scale. The second one, we were looking at closer to a 2.5, 3-ish on the spice scale, even bumping it up to 4 in some spots, but not as an overall. The slow level there, we had, started off more like a moderate jaunt, and now we're slowly moving up from moderate jaunt to a brisk jog through the woods. This one takes it into more of a leisurely bike ride, so you're still getting places, but it's taking a little bit of time, except for when we get to the end, at which point it decides that, hey, instead of this leisurely bike ride through the woods, we're now going to go downhill skiing and just get to places real quick. Except this mountain happens to be huge, so let's find out what happens in the next one. If you haven't done so already, please make sure that you like and subscribe. I really enjoy making these videos for you. I'd really like to hear more about your thoughts, so please make sure to put some comments down in the boxes below and let me know what you think. Have you read these books? Are you enjoying them? Did you enjoy them? Have you read Zodiac? I read Zodiac front to back. I love them. So I'd like to know what your thoughts are on those also. I probably won't be rereading those for quite a while because emotional damage is a thing. But let me know what you think about those. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to reading this, but I really appreciate all of you, and hopefully I will see you in that next video. It should be up in, the pace I'm moving, I'd say probably in the next 2 days, maybe 3 days tops. I have been thinking about where I want to go after these books, and I'm kind of thinking I might bump it back to one of my classics for a hot minute, and I was thinking about rereading the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the Chronicles of Narnia series, obviously starting with The Magician's Nephew. If you guys have any other suggestions, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much, guys. Bye!